Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for having me today. I'm really honored to be able to share my experiences with all of you. As all the great theorists have introduced the theory of collective leadership this morning, it is agreed that collective leadership is a multidisciplinary, multidimensional, interdisciplinary approach. It built on so many ideas, such as shared leadership, distributive leadership, instructional leadership, transformational leadership. It's all the buzzword that academics and experts try to fly around and try to say that they are all different. But what they have in common is that the belief that leadership is not a one-person job. And I think this is a common denominator that we all agree today. Effective leadership needs to be collective, shared effort for the greater good. And in this presentation, I would like to, In this presentation, I would like to talk about the greater good part of the collective leadership. We heard so many theories this morning up until now about what collective leadership is. And I would like to identify four characteristics that define collective leadership for you. These are just the common denominators that all these buzzwords have in common. They can be categorized differently, they can be ranked differently up to each theorist's discretion. One is clear goals and attainable vision. Birkenhoff, Murrieta, and O'Neill said, it's all about setting the goal. It's all about setting something high or low, but setting something out there for the whole team to follow. Secondly, collaborative leadership. Collective leadership is collaboration and teamwork. It's not one-man job. There's no Superman and there's no hero. This is questionable. This presentation that I will walk you through today is question whether collective leadership is a unicorn. I'm not just talking about your everyday Superman. I'm talking about a horse that can fly. Because we talk about theories of what we want out of these leaders. And the question is, do they exist? This is the key question that I would like to focus today. Thirdly, when you work in team and you work with a whole group of people in different dimensions and different layers and levels of governance, the most important thing is clear communication. The most important thing next to clear goal is to be able to execute the communication. Professor Alan Walker talked about in and out, top and below communication. You have to talk about inside your school and outside your school. Communicating with the community, communicating with the temple, communicating with the state, communicating with the media, communicating with the parents, communicating with the students themselves. When we talk about the communication, it's not just talk. In today's digital era, it's presentation, it's Line, it's Facebook, it's website, it's FaceTime, especially after COVID. All this kind of online communication become heightened in the importance in their schooling. So the third important part of collective leadership is communicating effectively. And last but not least, commitment. This one, I will not quote anyone, I will quote me. Commitment is loyalty to your goal, loyalty to your team, and loyalty to your action. And the best communication you can have is not by words, it's not by your presentation, it's the deeds that you do to your schools and your students that matter. So if we talk about collective leadership and compare it to traditional leadership, there are four things that we can think simplifiedly. One, the view of the organization is different. If you are collective leaders, you think of an organization as systems, as Professor Haiyan talked about systems. It's a living thing. It's move and morph, and there is an ebbs and flows that goes in and out of the system. But if you are a traditional thinker, collective leadership is static, fixed, something that cannot be moved and cannot be challenged and is not flexible. And like Professor Brian talked about vigility, this is like if you are a traditional leaders, there's no such a thing like vigility. Everything is fixed, set in stone. Secondly, structure. If you are a collective leader, your structure is flat of connected networks, of different nodes of organization connected together in the society. But if you are a traditional leader, your hierarchy is the most important thing. This is what we have known for the past 100 years, of principles on top, and then everyone else follow. Not below per se, but you know what I mean. And the last and important thing is, when you are a collective leader, you believe everyone is capable of making decisions for themselves. Everyone is able and opinionated and ability to voice their opinion. But if you are traditional leaders, you think they need to be told. Is that the kind of system we are living in Thailand right now? That everything needs to come from the Ministry of Education and trickle down the layers of different levels? What kind of leaders are we breeding in the society at the moment? There are zillions of writings about leadership, and this quote by Dr. Thirapat Gulopat, who is sitting in the front here today from Chulalongkorn University, and Professor Philip Harlinger from Mahidol University said, captured my attention. Learning-centered school principle. They didn't call it collective learning leaders, but they call it learning-centered school principle. Would work to develop a learning vision for the school, clear goal. Inspire and motivate teachers to engage in learning, action. Provide collaborative settings and resources for teachers to learn and to act, and they themselves act as a role model for the society. You flip to leadership, then you can pick any quote you like, but this one hit home for me because it's combined theories and practice, speaking not louder than action. And then you have to provide the important part in this is resources. When you are leaders, if you have no teeth, you aren't leaders. Or is it right? Does leader come with resources financially, human resource, infrastructure, supplementary assistance, or leaders can be just anyone? This is a question I would like to pose to all of you. In today's presentation, I'm focusing on specific case example. For the past 4 years, I have worked with MCOT HD, Channel 9, to search for the unicorns. Unicorns is a short term in this presentation as exceptional leaders, collective leaders, instructional leaders, anything that you name good leaders. I call them the unicorn, in short. For the past 4 years, Channel 9 and I have gone throughout the country to search for the unicorns. And we have produced more than 50 episodes of best practices school around Thailand. We went to the hilltops in Nan. We went into the hill tribe area in Lamphun. We went to the deep rural area in Mahasarakham. We went to the south. We went to the Kanchanaburi. We went to the borders with Thai Myanmar in Sangkhlaburi to search for good leaders. And I will not shock you that I said, with the 4 years of experience on the ground, we have found a lot of them. This is contrary to the general belief that Thai education is bad. I'm standing here defending Thai education. That is not negative in everything you look at. It's not low ONET, it's not low PISA, it's not bad leadership, it's not lazy teachers, it's not corrupted principals. Negative connotations have surrounded Thai education, and I'm here to break them with 3 examples. The first example, Thai Post our documentary and said, Hoi Tom School in Lamphun uses Bawon in education management and Examiner School on the north. Every time, let me give you a background. Every time we go on the documentary, Kun Prapan Singh Chong, who's sitting in the front here today, will write an article about our action on the ground. And he has been able to reach more than 100 news outlets around Thailand to promote our documentary. So Thai Post picked up on our documentary and said, Hoi Tom is a Bawon school. What is a Bawon school? บ้านวัดโรงเรียน right? So this school, there are so many great things about these schools, but what I want to highlight about Hoi Tom is that Hoi Tom is a school situated in the deep north, rural areas, deprived. Deprived is a shorthand for poor. When I want to say deprived in this presentation, let's replace it with poor. But poor is a mean word. No one wants to be poor. Even if they are poor, they don't want to be called poor and stupid. So we call them deprived, like the unicorn. They're the unicorn and they're deprived. I like English, and I don't mean to be an English teacher here, but let's get an effective communication with all of us. The school here is really deprived with 2,000 current students. None of them speak Thai as a mother tongue. All of them speak Pakayo as a mother tongue. The school's teachers come from all sorts of provinces in Thailand. They are diverse, 76 of them, and 5 extra teachers. The school's principal is a very smart, visionary man. In order to unite his people and his teachers, he set the meeting at the temple. Because everyone goes to the temple and everyone respects Kru Ba Chao Chaya Wongsa Patana. There is something that unites all of them. So instead of having meetings at school ground, he hosts meetings at temples and let the temples lead the conversation. So in this sense, the leaders aren't the principal. The leaders are the abbots at the school. But he, as he is an educator and he is a visionary man, Dr. Tharathon Tanti Vipongtakul said to me, there isn't Ban Wat Dong Rian. The reality is Ban Wat Rat Dong Rian. Because the state, all of you sitting here, matter. You matter in the lexicon and the equation of good leadership. You are the provider of financial resources. You are the regulators. You are the administrators. And he said, with temple alone, you cannot move the mountain. But with the help of the state in education service areas, you can move a lot of mountains together. And one of the mountains that had moved this is a good example. The school is really run down. It's really old. And the roads are broken. It's estimated that 600,000 baht has to be spent in order to build one road in the school, and the school has multiple roads because the school is really big, but not many fancy buildings. The school principal told the abbot, and you know what the abbot did? He bought the materials, and then he mobilized local people around the village to help give the labor for free. So now the school has brand new roads without paying a cent. I'm saying here, temples isn't just your financier. Temples is your uniter. And I'm not here to convert anyone. I'm just here to stating the fact that when you work with local actors, maybe Muslim temple, Muslim mosques, Christian churches, or Buddhist temples, those are your actors that you're working with. So apply this logic in your context. What I love about this school is that they are not just all go it alone. The school becomes strong and independent, and with 76 teachers, they mobilize the teachers to help 32 small schools in Lee district. So because they have abundant teachers based on the ratios that the government has given, they rearrange the timetable to help the small schools. Thailand is defined by the problem of small school. If we cannot solve the issues of unequitable distribution of resources, what are we doing here? And this school is local problem for local solution. They use the existing teachers, they don't pay anything more, they just rearrange the timetable to be able to send the teachers to help the small school. And this picture is a picture of Karieng Phon Pa, where 300 students venerate Kru Ba Chao Chaya Wongsa Patana and invite 32 schools to witness their tradition. This is local curriculum. This is local empowerment. The second school I would like to talk about is in rural Mahasarakham. We all know the problem of small schools, not enough teachers, not enough infrastructure, not enough lunch money, not enough of anything. But what this school, Kampi Lao Ka Jalern Sin, has more than enough is a dream to excel. The principal, Suphapon Lamahai, has worked tirelessly with the community to fundraise, and she wanted to do two things. One, local curriculum. This is a very deprived area of Mahasarakham, but the local actors are very good at textile. So the school principal introduced local curriculum by asking the local textile producers to teach the students textile production, give them the skill and empowerment they need to feel confident about themselves. Cherry on top is the My Maths competition. I said they lack a lot of things in this school. They don't have enough of anything, but what they have enough is the dreams to excel and go high. The students, they don't have good role models because most of them stay with their very old, poor grandparents, where their parents migrate to other areas of Thailand. They rely on the schools as a playground. They rely on the school as a space to learn and be happy. And the principal introduced My Maths to them. One school does not have the ability to introduce My Math competition because there's not enough students. So what this school does is call up 15 other schools in the district. All of them are small schools, and organize My Math competition among 15 schools. 150 students gathered together, hungry to excel in math. I've been in education for 15 years, but I never seen anything as simple as a 7-year-old wanted to champion the competition. The price of the competition is 300 baht because they don't have a lot and they play with what they have. But the student who won the prize said to me, PM, I will take my parents to eat shabu tonight. Shabu costs 99 baht each buffet. We will eat until we die. And I will have 3 baht left for my rainy days. 3 baht. That's what he counted on. Endo becomes my hero. And for me, he is a collective leader. This is the picture of the competition. The last school I would like to talk about is Principal Pavina Pumpuang. It goes similar to Kampi, but it's different resonance and it's different context. This is in Rayong. The school hosts Cambodian migrant workers, so you can imagine how difficult the situation is. This is their classroom. They don't have enough teachers. So they create competency-based curriculum by taking students to the markets and ask the students what they learned from going to the markets with their parents. This is a beautiful picture that I find comforting, that in light of darkness, there is hope. They created different curriculum based on local production line, based on local fishery culture, based on local agricultural production. And I feel if we have the will to learn, there's always a possibility. This is students who want to become chefs. So this is the grade 6 students who try different recipes of hoi jaw or the crab meatball. I try to explain this in English, but let's stick it with crab meatball. They come up with different recipes to compete against each other. Again and again, he said, we will perfect it and we will go very far. For me, leaders aren't just someone on top. That's the common sense. But it's not a common sense enough that we acknowledge it. Before I end today, I would like to ask, where are these unicorns in Thailand? I'm sure there are a lot of them, but we don't talk a lot enough of them. We talk about the bad apples that rot. We don't talk about good schools that excel in light of limitation. And the question that I ask all of you today is, what kind of environment do we need to raise these unicorns? You are our state actors. What kind of legal structure, what kind of financial rubrics, what kind of QA situation you give to these unicorns matters to the learning of the students. Before you walk out of here today, ask yourself, have you done enough to raise the unicorns? Francis Fukuyama said, a society that excels is a society of high trust society. Even if I am an optimist on the unicorns, I'm the pessimist on the Thai state. The Decentralization Act has been talked about for 20 years. Nothing goes anywhere. We don't decentralize enough. We don't distribute enough. We don't share enough. We don't empower enough. And how can we empower all of us to empower other people in order for all of us to become unicorns? So these are the references I used for this presentation, and thank you for your attention.